Well, hello, traveler. I was told I could be expecting you. You must be tired. I know it's been quite a journey. Come on in, sit for a spell. I'm going to tell you what the future has in store for you in this year of 2026. Here it's going to be a pretty big year for you, but we'll see what the fates have to say. We're going to consult the cards here just to get some more details, give a picture of the landscape that's going to be sprawling before you. I was told that this message is for Taurus. Any placement could also be prominent second house placement, or maybe you're a Scorpio rising. That makes you a Taurus descendant. Let's see what's coming in here for you. We're going to look at your theme opening up for 2026, see what the fates have in store for you, and what's the general tone of what you're stepping into with this new year and how it will set the pace for the road that sprawls before you. Ooh. Something's just at its inception phase. We got child here. There could be something that is just beginning, and it's something that is being protected, preserved. It's coming in with the energy of the moon, Piscean energy. Also, keeping something protected away from prying eyes, because these initial moments are very precious. There could actually be a child that is playing a key role in your destiny in 2026. So let's get some more details about this for you. What is this that is just in its inception phase? We have a child. Is it a physical child or is it a brain child? Whatever it is, it's something that's just beginning. And there's the strong desire to create protective space around this inception point. Okay, let's see what this is coming in for Taurus as the theme around this child or something that's just at its inception phase. That wanted to come out. It sort of flipped up and then it flipped back down, but it didn't go back into the deck. Same with these, which is very interesting. Okay, so right out the gate, there's a lot of concealment around your energy, a need to keep things protected. I feel these energies are sort of covering energies, but they're also crossing energies. So let's see what this is here. Ooh, courtship. Okay, and this is coming in with the energy signature of the Emperor. So there's an Emperor who wants to court someone here, has strong feelings of passion, and this is taking the long, slow route, maybe even thinking long term, maybe even thinking about somebody that they feel that they could have a family with. And this could be somebody that already has children, and so they're very conscientious about who they allow into their life. They have to make sure that it's the right fit. Or this could be somebody who is ready to start a family, all right? It's also the beginning of a courtship, a process of approaching relationship in what some may feel is an antiquated way, like a sort of old-fashioned kind of way. But you may be feeling old-fashioned and maybe you're wanting that, you know, you're wanting something more simple, something less complicated. There could be an Aries connection here. Let's see what we have as the crossing energy. Well, somebody's really been feeling down on their luck. They've been feeling a lot of despair around a certain turn of fortune that's been pretty rough for them. They may have lost a job. I think they're kind of muddling through this right now. It is coming out with your energy. It's coming out with the Hierophant energy, but it's not just feeling a loss of some kind of financial revenue. It also feels like being shut out of something and sort of having a life review, wishing that different choices were made, different actions were taken. Okay. Now this could be the person that is contemplating moving forward in courtship. They might be thinking about somebody that they hold in high honor, but there's been a lot that's been blocking forward progression in this connection. Perhaps because there's been a lot of fighting. Perhaps there's some kind of conflict. Perhaps there's almost like warring energies here. I don't know why, but it gives me that sort of imagery of West Side Story, like two opposing families. You can never be united, you know? Something maybe rather arbitrary is keeping this situation divided. And it could also have something to do with a child. And that's factoring strongly into a decision here. But I do feel like whoever is being courted here or is looking to court another, they hold this individual in high honor. And maybe it wasn't until there was some conflict that really got stirred up that they had an opportunity to really reflect on the meaning of the connection for them and what they were willing to take a stand for. Or did they fold? They might have folded. They might have folded. Could have been life path 5, life path 7, life path 4. There could be a Cancerian connection, an Aries connection. Libra is out here. Leo is out here as well, okay? So any of these characters could be in the mainframe in this situation. All right, interesting. And it's kind of coming in the way I'm laying out the cards. It's coming in like a pyramid. So I do feel like there's something that wants to get rooted here and it wants to be laid on a stronger foundation. Judication. I mean, somebody might be really serious about committing when they weren't serious about committing before because they see somebody as their empress with a 30 energy there. They see somebody as their empress. They could see you as their empress, Taurus. I mean, it's your energy. It's also Libra energy. And there's the desire maybe to make something official, maybe recognizing the reason why there were so many conflicts in the past is because maybe that dignity wasn't being given in a relationship. Maybe they've also been waiting for somebody to become available. Maybe this is somebody who's promised to another. They could already be married or be in a serious committed relationship. And so there's something here maybe where the verdict is out. But a child could be factoring into this situation. I'll get more specifics about the details, but this is just the general tone we're opening up with here, Taurus. Okay, so somebody has a strong desire to change their current state of despair, feeling left out of something they very much want to be a part of. They might be feeling a little apprehensive about making an offer, though, because perhaps they've been a little down on their luck. Somebody may be struggling financially, or they may have recently lost a job, and so they're not sure if they're coming forward with enough for their offer to be received, or if they even should approach at this point. I mean, if it's love, then, you know, how much does that really have to factor in? I mean, that's a personal value system here, okay? So somebody may have misconceptions about what somebody desires. You know, they may think that somebody expects that they have a certain income bracket or hold a certain status, and maybe what they don't recognize is they don't need to be at war with themselves over this, that this person already holds them in high honor, okay? We do have expectation here, all right? So it could also be a situation where the next step was taken in a courtship, and now there's a baby on the way. I mean, for a child to come out with expectation, And it does come in with the energy signature of 10, so Wheel of Fortune. This could be an unexpected change in the game plan here, right? Somebody could find out that there is a baby on the way, and maybe this is why they're in a bit of a place of despair, because they feel like they don't have the resources, or they're not in the right place in their life, or potentially with judication that came out, if they're already promised to another, this may make things very complicated, and they may be worrying about a war that could be brewing, a war of the roses. It's got those kind of vibes, maybe even trying to like work things out as they're untangling their connection, you know, so they can move in the direction of the one that they want to court, but also recognizing that, you know, it's going to cause some problems on the home front. Yeah, somebody feels really trapped, like they're in a really rough spot in relation to this. They sort of feel like they got caught up by their actions, caught up by 11:11 on the clock. Yeah, caught up or right on time. I don't know, you know. I mean, sometimes there's a tricky situation that gets put on our paths to let us know where we place our value, what's really important to us. And this may be such a pivotal moment where a choice needs to be made. You know, what are you truly invested in? And I just saw 11:38 on the clock. So again, 11:11. 11:11 is coming in for you as a synchronicity. Despite what you may think, there is help here, okay? You do have forces working in your favor, maybe to help you get out of a tight jam. Somebody may feel like they need some angels in the outfield in order to pull this off. It may come in on a wing and a prayer, but somebody does really feel like they got themselves caught up with imprisonment here. Any more details about this? Okay. And somebody may be afraid of falling from grace in somebody's eyes that they hold in high honor because they did get themselves mixed up in something. In some cases, it could even be somebody got themselves caught up in some legal troubles too, and they're just worried about, you know, how this person will receive them, or maybe they have a history of that, you know, maybe it's something that's in relation to their past and they're afraid about it catching up to them, and then is it going to taint the way this person views them? Okay, I could see that. They might be expecting a certain reaction, and that's not even the way it is. I could see this as like real misunderstanding about how somebody is seen by another. I feel that whatever is the problem here, where somebody's feeling like they won't be well received. It could even be somebody has a child, but they haven't revealed that because they're worried about how the person they're interested in will receive that. Will they even be open to exploring a connection? Or will they immediately shoot it down? You know, somebody may feel like they're kind of trapped by their past, you know, that their past puts them in a certain limited box. Like, people are going to have a certain impression of me because of who I used to be. And I've actually gone through a lot of changes. But I feel like there's something that was really fought hard for here, you know, overcoming previous challenges. And I do expect that if you are feeling a sense of despair because you feel like you've been down on your luck, if you feel like you've been sort of shut out of an opportunity or cast aside, or if you feel like you're never going to get that job or be able to turn your material situation around, you should expect that there will be a moving forward. And you'll see as things play out over the year that you're going to find yourself in a position of high honor. And maybe it's because of how you're handling a particularly difficult situation. It could be a situation that's like a war of the roses. There could be a complicated family dynamic, relationship dynamic in play here. There could even be a pregnancy involved here that is a complication because somebody is already spoken for. Okay, so there's a lot of stress I'm seeing here about how to navigate a situation, and yet I see high honor here in relation to a conflict. So that lets me know that there is a way to transform this. Let me do one more round and see what we got here. And then we're going to get some clarification, get a little more details coming in here. There's a gift coming in, okay? And it's coming in with the energy of the star. This gift may be the thing that turns everything around. And it may be an acknowledgement. There's something about receiving this gift. I don't know, I got something like a locket, you know, something you can wear close to your heart. It's something to fuel hope in dark times. This may come in sometime around that ring of fire in Aquarius, the new moon that comes in on the 17th. And this might be something that gives you strength, you know, strength as you're moving through this tricky territory to overcome some previous challenges. It may also act as a promise, you know, a promise and something that gives you a sense of resolve to turn things around too. Somebody here wants to turn their life around. I really feel that. Like somebody feels like they fell from grace in another's eyes and they really want to rectify this, all right? Very interesting message, okay? Any more details? Any more details to cap this off before we start to go a little bit deeper into this storyline? Go around here. Nothing comes out. I'll do a cut of the deck and we'll see. Mature woman. There is a decision to be made here. It could be a decision between two lovers. There could be a Gemini at play in this situation. Also 6 Venusian energy. That brings in your energy, Taurus. It also brings in the energy of Libra, right? Let's do a cut of the deck here and see what we got on the split. Well, some distant horizon is calling, and there's a desire to lift anchor and set sail here, get to that distant shore. It may be a solo journey. There could be a Virgo connection here. There could also be a Sagittarian connection here. But I do feel somebody wants to communicate to Venus. I see that. 3 energy wants to communicate to Venus. That's how I'm getting that with that 6 coming in. Wanting to transform something that's been stuck in a karmic cycle. Something that's been in a holding pattern, probably because of a conflict. Potentially because somebody is very afraid about how they've been received because of their history, or revealing a part of their history that they feel could be the undoing of the potential of what they feel is a very promising connection. Whoever this is, they feel very strongly about this. Very strongly about this, okay? They feel very strongly about this mature woman. Let's see what we got on the other side of the split here. But a certain judgment needs to be made first related to a house, okay? So this could be something that divides a household. This could be something that divides a family. This could be something that divides assets. Perhaps somebody's already in a marriage. And in order for them to head in that direction, it means something needs to be balanced out, and quite likely legally, financially. Maybe somebody's really stressed out about this financial loss. It is coming in with the Hierophant energy. That can indicate a serious relationship, like a marriage or some kind of very important merger. It could be a business merger. I got family business with that. Maybe there's something that causes disruption in a family business. I don't know why I got this too. It's just kind of a side note. I don't feel like it's most of your stories, okay? But it's somebody's story out there. This could also be kind of like an arranged marriage kind of situation where if somebody doesn't go along with who the family has chosen for them to court, then there's going to be fallout and potentially financial loss being sort of X'd out of the family legacy, X'd out of the will, and somebody's stressed Somebody's stressed about this. You know, maybe there's a lot of pressure put on this person. Do the honorable thing. You know what the honorable thing to do is. Don't dishonor our family by going toward this person. So family could be at odds with who this person wants to head toward. And yet, there should be expectancy around this arrival. I do feel like somebody will press ahead. And in some cases, this is just at the beginning stages right now, the first steps in turning this around. Whatever has been creating blockages is underway. And in other cases, the reason why there's despair and a need to make an honorable choice, which may require sacrificing wealth and going against family wishes, is because there's an unexpected pregnancy, and that changes the whole dynamic, okay? It may cost someone a house, okay? It may cost someone a house. It may cost the mature woman their living situation, okay? So this is what I have as an initial starting point here. A lot opening up here. Now I understand why it's been a long journey. All right, let's dive into this and let's get some more details about this matter. Let's go ahead and look at love just to open things up, because there is a courtship here that's at the center of all of this. Let's get it very clear with the glow-in-the-dark tarot. Bottom of the deck. Now, see, somebody has been offered a direction in love that they don't really want to go for because they feel like their hand is being forced. It's the honorable thing to do. This is what I need to do. I need to be true to this. And yet they don't really want this. They don't really want this because in some way it doesn't really measure up to what they want it to be. With the Three of Cups there, somebody's still brooding over something. Some opportunity that they really hoped for, wished for, and it fell flat. It ended up being a disappointment. They may not realize that Spirit's about to create an avenue to turn a situation around or to bring something even better their way that can't be anticipated right now with that Four of Cups. Right? Somebody's really frustrated here. Somebody may want to heal a connection as well. Turn around somebody's view of them. You know, they know that somebody doesn't see them with the most respect right now, perhaps because of some kind of indiscretion or their own perceived insecurities, like feeling like, well, I don't have enough to offer. You know, I could see it being like a status thing. It doesn't really need to weigh into this situation, not if it's love, right? But in some way they feel like their hand is being forced. It could be because of an unexpected pregnancy. I have to bring it in. And they feel like, what am I supposed to do? So there's some major decision to be made in love. And what's not seen currently is that there is an unexpected offer in love heading your way, and it is something that's being orchestrated by divine forces here, but it might be missed. You know, the opportunity can be missed if you're too fixated on brooding over something in the past, or maybe only looking at obstacles and not looking at possibilities or other inroads in a situation where there's quite a bit of conflict, or there's a sense that there's going to be a lot of conflict heading in a particular direction. Okay, let's get some more details for you, Taurus, in love. Basis of the matter. I mean, I do feel like if something's been hidden, and if that's been a frustration because you feel like you're in the dark and you don't know what's going on, that's about to be rectified very soon. You're going to be put in the loop of something. The reality of a situation you've been grappling with, where you've been trying to find answers or a clear way through, it's about to lighten up for you. Okay, something is going to be revealed. Something is going to be exposed. If there is a situation where there's some kind of third party situation where there's somebody now expecting and that's something that was concealed, that will be revealed, okay? I don't know what side of that you would be on, okay? But there's something here, and maybe somebody did lose their job. Maybe somebody did lose a lot of money. Maybe they felt that that was a requirement the other person had, that they had a certain status, that they had a certain bankroll. And maybe somebody lost their job or they suffered some severe financial loss. And maybe they've been hiding that. I don't know why I got this, but maybe they've been like getting dressed every day, heading out the door, making it out like they're going to work, and really they're not. They're going to the bar, you know, they're freaked out about what their partner's going to think if they find out what really happened here. They feel they'll fall from grace in their eyes, okay? So there could be something like that coming into. Somebody's been concealing something and it's been causing the other to really distrust them because they're like, why aren't you communicating? Why aren't you just letting me know what's going on? I feel like something's off. And I know there's something up. Like the intuition is firing off here, and yet there's so much that's cloaked in this situation. It's causing a lot of suspicion in a connection. And this could be because somebody's trying to hide something that they feel embarrassed about. They don't want this to be revealed. If there's a child involved, it also may be, even though the child could be the result of an indiscretion in some cases, or they just feel like for one reason or another, the other person won't be receptive to a child. Maybe they think this person doesn't want children at all. And yet they've been kind of like getting to know this person and buttering them up, and they're really interested in them, and they've hid this, that they're a parent, okay? And that they've been married before. And maybe they're not sure how somebody's going to react to that. Whoa, there could be somebody finding out that they're expecting, they got out of a marriage and they're expecting, and they're not sure if the child they're expecting is from their previous marriage or if it's with the person that they're in a courtship with now. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, there's some stuff to sort through here. This is a little complicated. This is definitely the Wheel of Fortune spinning here in this situation. There could be a Sagittarius connected to this situation. Okay, let's see what we got coming in here. Give me more details about love for Taurus in 2026. Okay, it's interesting. All of the cards for you are coming out like this. Normally I have cards like flipping up, but everything is sort of like sliding out, concealed. And this is covering the expectations. So what do we got here? Oh yeah, somebody is really just in the thick of it right now. They're all over the place. Somebody is really trying to get themselves emotionally stabilized right now. That's what I see with the Two of Pentacles. And they certainly could be trying to get their finances balanced too. They're juggling a lot right now. I mean, there could be multiple options here. They're trying to get two ships that have been passing in the night to come into the same port together, you know. It's got a little bit of like star-crossed lovers energy. Star-crossed lovers heading for disaster. You took a lifetime on the morning after Lindy's party. Bolshoi song there. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Somebody really wants another shot at something. They do. They want another shot at something. I do feel like there's an offer that's going to come in this situation. It looks like it arrives in the summer of 2026. But first, there's really a need to heal, you know. I see there's a need to establish like some kind of personal sense of peace, balance, healing. Get oneself in a really good space. And if somebody does have something that they need to clean up, that they're worried about, they might want to make sure they get that all taken care of and get themselves squared away before they approach somebody that they have serious romantic interest in. The only problem with this that I see though is that they might try to push it too fast, because it looks like this person's like freaking out that they might miss their opportunity. It might be yet another missed opportunity. Maybe this is somebody they've missed opportunities with multiple times, and they're like, if I fumble this time, like that's it. And that might be why this person is just really feeling like they're done for here. And almost like they're stuck. Like it's coming through. It did come through with imprisonment. So it almost has the vibes too, just feeling like I got myself in a situation that I don't know how to get out of. And this is really complicated. Like I feel like I'm in a tight spot, but it could be that it's a prison of the mind. You know, somebody needs to maybe get a different kind of perspective in the situation, and maybe put somebody in the loop too, right? Because I see there's like a little bit of a suspicious vibe here. It's like, what's going on here? It feels like there's an undercurrent in the love story, and the hackles are up because something feels off, and yet there's no communication. So when there's no communication, people create stories of their own. And usually those stories are based on their deepest fears. And then before you know it, everything's out of balance, everything's a mess. But there is the sense here too of somebody has been very non-committal in a situation, you know? There's a lot of promises. There's a lot of time invested in pursuing a certain person. And yet when it comes time for the follow through, like something is lacking, like a certain deal hasn't been sealed here. Somebody's wishy-washy. It's got those kind of vibes like, you know, being in it, I'm all in it, man. I'm all in it. I'm in it to win it. And I got one foot out the door at the same time. And even though that's something that's not being communicated, it creates an undercurrent of energy in a dynamic that creates a lot of instability. But I think somebody's going to get it right, because it's almost like there's some kind of, oh, how can I put this? It's coming through. It sounds so heavy, man, but it is. It's coming through as like renunciation, like almost like casting aside someone's former identity. Like somebody may be having a moment. I don't know any other way to put it, man, aside from like a come to Jesus moment. Like somebody's having a moment where they're really like reflecting back on their love story and all the different partners they've had, and the way things have played out. And they're having a look at it and they're like, I need to get this right, man. Because every time I keep ending up in this same space where I'm confused, my emotions are all over the place, I'm dealing with some kind of conflict situation, nobody's getting along. Now there's even fallout among my friends, there's fallout in the family, like, and I just feel like I'm not getting what I want here. And it's almost like one of those moments where somebody stops kind of like pointing the finger at other people or blaming certain situations, and is really like owning their shit and saying, what do I need to do? How do I need to change? And this may involve doing the honorable thing and actually putting somebody in the light of the truth, even though that does require facing fear, facing judgment, in some cases losing something big, you know, but somebody is getting more aligned with what their soul is telling them to do. And it's interesting because I feel like once this person comes to that realization and they reveal what's been concealed, and in some cases it's just their feelings. They've been afraid to say how they feel. That's the thing that washes over them with peace. That's the thing that brings them back into their heart again. And that's the thing that creates the waterway. That's the flow. And then that current just carries the connection forward. From there, things start to shift, okay? But right now, I feel like somebody's trying to make a choice. The choice is either between two people, or the choice is between what the family wants and what they want, or the choice is between, do I stay or do I go? And somebody's confused. Somebody's confused. Queen of Wands on the scene, okay? Leo energy coming in there. Also, any fire sign energy. Could be Leo, both strong Leo with the sun here. There could be a child connected. That's what's about to be revealed, okay? Just saying. I'm noticing the Leo energy is coming out pretty strong. I would almost bet my bottom dollar that there is like a Leo that is connected to this, and that there could be a child involved. And this is something that somebody's afraid of revealing. Could be Aquarius rising too, because that would be Leo descendant. And there could be something about this that is a little suspect, okay? Somebody's going to feel betrayed when they hear about this. Queen of Wands can also be, in some cases, the other woman. This could be somebody who's expecting. I mean, we've seen this energy, you know, kind of coming into the read here. So there could be a pregnancy with a third party. It's possible. Or again, there's just an impression that somebody's going to feel betrayed when they find out that this person has a kid. You know, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me you were a parent? You know, it's something like that. Or why didn't you tell me you wanted children? I don't want children. Okay, so it can be anything on this level. But I do feel like there's the revealing of a child here. I see that, okay? The Sun is a very positive card in the tarot. It does speak of success. It speaks of attainment. It speaks of the fulfillment of desires. It speaks of happiness and vitality and new life and just feeling very, very much at the zenith of life. And I do feel that Leo season is really going to be a time when that love does come pouring in, where something is renewed here. But I do feel like there is a character here on the scene. They are coming in as a Queen of Wands, okay? They have their sights set on something. They want this very much so. This could be an outside party in this situation, and they're willing to do whatever they have to do. They may be of the mindset that all is fair in love and war for me to get the honor of being the one this person picks. Okay, so there is kind of like a competitive vibe here. It is coming in competitive because it's coming in with the Five of Swords, with the Queen of Wands, very much wanting success and maybe even wanting exposure, you know, wanting exposure. Hey, I'm here too, okay? This could also be putting somebody in despair if a mistress won't keep quiet. And then we see here, Nine of Pentacles, right? This is about money. This is about independent wealth. This is about growth. It can be pregnancy too. There is strong pregnancy vibes in your read. So I would bet my bottom dollar that there is a child in this situation. There is a child in this situation. And so there's something here that there is concern about, right? Because we have a mother and a child here. There's troubles around this. There's worries about this. How do I move something forward when this is kind of lingering here? But what's not seen is there will be a successful outcome. I see it. There is a successful outcome here. There's also some kind of commitment. Somebody is willing to invest. It's coming in with your energy. Forward motion. We already brought in August. Here comes the Eight of Wands. I feel like that's when everything moves forward in a key connection. I do feel somebody makes a decision. somebody makes a firm commitment here. And there is a clear-cut choice made here. A truth is spoken. There's a decision that's made. Coming in with the air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And this could be somebody saying, all right, I'm ready. You got the key to my heart. Let's tie the knot. This could be a marriage coming in, but it requires closing out another connection in order to open up to this possibility. Gemini energy, this is what's at the crossroads. A choice needs to be made. Coming in with the fixed sign energy, so there could be a Leo in the mix. That energy came out pretty strongly. You're definitely in the mix here, Taurus. We also have Scorpio and we have Aquarius that came in, so there could be a Leo rising as well in this situation. But there will be success. There will be victory in making a choice. And we see here there's a true partnership. So this is beautiful. Two of Cups. Okay. Two of Cups. But we do have somebody here, a Queen of Cups, who's really keeping something contained and holding it in. And they certainly could be a Cancer. We did have the Cancerian energy come through. They could be a Cancer, Leo, Cusper, right? Somebody's holding something in. They're holding their feelings in. Maybe in relation to somebody's choices too. This could be a mother. This could be somebody that you share a child with, okay? Any more details about this in the love department? It comes in again though. Look at this. Wow. The Emperor is making an offer in the summertime. But first, they have to rectify some things within themselves. I feel like they're getting right with themselves. That's what it looks like. This is somebody who's doing personal healing before they're prepared to make an offer. King of Wands energy. So we got King of Wands to Queen of Wands here. So you may have a lot of fire in your chart, Taurus. Both of you hold a lot of fire. There's a lot of passion in this connection. A lot of passion in this connection. You are looking at each other too. Okay? You're drawn toward each other, but there's been stuff that's come in between you two, all right? And there is a way through. So we've had, in terms of the fire sign energy, what's come out here strongly on the board? All the fire signs. We've had Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, okay? It could be somebody that has a real strong placement in their chart, and it looks like it's coming through for both masculine and feminine. So you both share fire. Maybe you share a key connection with your fire. Somebody could have a fire moon to somebody's fire sun. You know what I'm saying? Could be like sun moon synergy here. I'm hearing, or Mercury Mars synergy too. Okay. So Mercury to come in, there could be a Virgo connection, a Gemini connection, Mars, Scorpio connection, Aries connection. All right, let me do a cut of the deck here. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Somebody really is struggling with something that they're trying to integrate, you know, and maybe somebody needs to be respectful of that. If they're trying to put pressure on somebody to move forward with something very quickly, they might not be recognizing like what somebody is trying to process and integrate and heal from here. Yeah, sorry. It's going to take time. Somebody's taking time out to heal themselves, to understand why things went the way they did in the past. It requires time, patience, and illumination. And this is spiritual soul searching that somebody's doing here. They're doing the work. They're doing the inner work. That's so important. Somebody's not ready to rush ahead with something. And you know what? If there is somebody in this situation that's pushing, when somebody really is actively engaged in this work, I do feel like that will be the thing that makes a choice very clear, because this person needs to integrate their experiences before they even can make an offer. And this is something to feel good about, you know, but somebody may feel like I better hurry up and make up my mind. or I'm going to lose out. And you know, the thing about that is, if it's truly meant for you, that's not the case at all. You should want something to be on a strong foundation here. Somebody is really sorting through their history, their choices, and they're holding themselves accountable, and they're doing the work. And it's not anything that can be rushed. It's something that is a bit of a karmic cycle they're trying to close up in their love story. They're looking at ways that they've had blind spots in the past, looking at ways their subconscious stuff has sort of been at the wheel and drove them off course. They're looking at ways that they've sabotaged themselves, and they're really trying to get things straight. They may also be trying to clear things up, make peace with former lovers. This may be something that they feel like they need to do. I did bring in the piece about the bar. Okay, so if this is somebody who has some kind of addiction, or they're in some kind of recovery process, they might also be in the stage of making amends, you know, and wanting to, you know, clear things out properly so they can finally go toward the person that they feel like, this is the one, you know, this person's my future, right? But there could be a little bit of this energy coming in from a Queen of Wands that's really trying to like put some fire on this Emperor's butt. And I don't think that that's the way to go. This is something that looks like it takes time. I do see communication opening up in this situation where there's been stuff withheld. I do feel like communication is forthcoming. It'll probably happen within the next 2 months. But you could hear from somebody as early as 8 hours from now, 8 days from now, okay, 8 weeks from now. I think the 8th month, though, is when it's go time. And there might be a real significant choice made at that time. Maybe there's a choice about, yeah, let's do it. Let's move forward. Let's get hitched. I mean, that energy did come in. Or, hey, let's go on a trip. Let's do a destination wedding. Or it could be, let's just go on a trip together. Let's see each other. Maybe it's just been an online connection and there's the desire to see each other face to face. That could be coming in. It could also be, let's move in together. Let's make it official, okay? Or somebody could be moving out of their place to be able to be freed up, you know, to head in the direction of the other. But that looks like what's going down in the love department. So quite a bit of action going on there. Looks like a little bit of a complicated situation. But what I do like is that it appears that somebody is really wanting to do things right, you know? And they're wanting to make sure that when they move forward in the love department, they do so cleanly, not bringing any baggage forward with them. And that's very, very healthy. It's very healthy, okay? But it doesn't make it any less challenging to go through, you know? Let's check out and see what's going on with your money in 2026. We're going to pull out the Gilded Tarot for this. On the split, look at this. Lots of options, okay? Lots of options to explore. I feel like you have a lot of ideas too. I feel like there's one idea you have here though. That's it, man. That's the ticket. There's some other stuff you've been entertaining. It's sort of like wanting to get some traction in a business of your own. A work goal of your own. It feels like something that you want to create for yourself, because that Nine of Pentacles energy did come out there. So that can be a very entrepreneurial kind of energy. So I do feel like there's lots of ideas you have here, and you may have put some of these things in play with some measure of success. But there's one thing here that when it comes through, you're going to know this is it. And once you come across this idea, I feel like you're really like keeping this undercover. Now, this could be that like brainchild, right? This could be a new direction you want to take in your career, and you need to really like keep a lid on this. This could be that Queen of Cups energy. You could have a strong water sign placement in your chart. I feel like you're really coming from your water in relation to this. That might give you an idea about the kind of field you should get into. So if you're a Scorpio rising, that makes you a Taurus descendant. So a field that would be really good for you would be a metaphysical field, you know, or something that deals with major transitions in life. That could even be getting into work where you're a doula, or maybe you're a death doula, you know, that's another way of looking at it. Or perhaps you want to get into doing like undercover work, you know, maybe you want to be a private investigator. There's a lot of different ways that that could come through. Okay, that's just an idea. So look where you have water in your chart, because I feel it's your water that really is that alchemical point that merges with the fire, that is the thing you really want to invest in here. I feel like there will be a big revealing moment with this, and it is the birth of a brand new direction in your career. And whatever this is, it brings a lot of success. Okay, there is Leo energy around this, so there could be something here that like thrusts you into visibility, and maybe you weren't expecting that, and it might be a little bit of like a big reveal moment. Maybe you have no idea that this will kind of put you in the public eye, or put a spotlight on you in some way, or gain you some kind of recognition, but this looks really good, okay? And it does feel like it's something that you're dreaming up here. It may seem like it's something that's a little pie in the sky, but I do feel like you can pull this off. You're very close. There's something here that's missing. You're very close, but you're getting closer. Look at the water in your chart. It'll really give you a clue about the missing element here. And I do feel like this gamble will pay off. You might be meant to do work that really does put you in the public eye, okay? You may need to switch something up in your approach too. It's got to make it more aesthetically pleasing. This is important in order for it to get attention, get traction. Okay, there's something that needs a little bit of a redress. I could see this even being like promotional materials, or your online presence, or there's something that needs a little bit reworking, like the brand needs a little bit more work or something like that, okay? It looks like it's something that has to do with aesthetics, all right? You might be trying to determine that right now with something you're designing or you're working on here. Whatever this is, it does look very successful, and it looks like August is a key month of success. There might be an initial like sort of hint at what this is with the Leo full moon that comes in on the 1st of February. Whatever inspiration comes in around that time, tug on that thread a little bit, okay? It'll show you what you should weave into being there. Do you feel like you want to follow that inspiration? Bottom of the deck. Yeah, you might want to do some legal process around it too. You might want to get a patent. You might want to get a trademark, copyright, you know. You might want to go and file papers, you know, to get something going. Or there might be a contract you're signing here. Libra energy coming in there. That's the basis of the matter. This could be some kind of business partnership too. It could have something to do with aesthetics, with the Libra energy. Absolutely. This could have something to do with like a beauty brand, a makeup line, a fragrance line. Maybe you're a fashion designer. Okay, so there could be like some industry you're breaking into that has to do with beauty. I mean, this is a wise investment here. I do feel like you'll be at the top of your game in this field. Maybe it's something you've dreamed about for a long time too. You've always wanted to do something like this. It might be something that's really helped you tap into your creativity. It might have been something that you felt inspired by since you were a child too. Or it wakes up like that part of you to just go after a dream. Like, when was the last time you really went after a dream, right? But there could be some conflict around it. I mean, there could be some people who don't think it's a sensible choice, the responsible thing to do. This could be because you have family responsibilities, because you have a child to take care of, you know, this kind of energy. Or there just could be disagreement, you know, from people. Also, it might be an extremely competitive field. Certainly if you're getting into something like the beauty industry or even like the health industry. Heck, you know, the metaphysical industry. any field where, you know, you have to have some kind of presence to put yourself out there. Because I feel whatever this is, it requires having some level of visibility. It's going to be competitive, okay? And you might be sort of talking yourself out of something because you feel like, well, it's not really a responsible thing to do. And yet, you know, if you move forward and you don't go after this, it's like the child in you, like that part in you that's actually feeling enthusiastic about something is going to feel so like let down. And if this is the concern of family, it's like what family can't see is if you go after this dream, this opens the road for you. Like there's success on the other side of this with the world. I mean, it opens a whole world of new opportunities for you. I do feel like there's something that has to be brought to a close though. And it may be, you know, an old approach to your finances, an old approach to your business objectives, leaving a job that just makes you miserable. I mean, it might pay the bills or whatever, but inside it's just like you're living to work. You're not working for a living. You want work that you can really get behind here. I do think that you will eventually move away from a way of working or away from a situation that it just was making you feel empty inside. It wasn't for you. And that may mean that you're making a transition in your career where as you're closing out your old work, you're starting to develop something new. And there is a way to do it that may require initially that, you know, you have to really be on top of your schedule and you have to balance a lot of things because there's a lot of people and a lot of projects and stuff competing for your time. But I think you'll strike the balance and you're going to move away from these problems. And it might mean you might need to get in an argument with somebody about this too, who sees things differently from you. And in this case, it could be somebody that you share a child with. That doesn't see things the way you do. And this could be, I mean, your energy comes out strongly with the fixed sign energy here. There could be a Capricorn connected to this, a Leo, an Aquarius, Scorpio. Okay. But I do feel like you're getting beyond a challenging situation here. And this leads to some kind of success. I mean, it's a wise investment. You should invest, okay? It will pay off for you. Cut of the deck energy. Look at that. Empress energy. Look what it does for you, man. You need to follow this creative inspiration. It very well could have to do with the beauty industry or the health industry. I'm feeling that like really strongly. Or there's like a strong aesthetic eye required in whatever this is. Like it has to be visually appealing. So it could be... there is something you're doing with media too that requires a certain kind of like presentation. And so you might be looking at yourself too and okay, what do I need to do to get myself ready to sort of be put in that position where I have that exposure, where I am the face of my brand. Okay, that might be something very new for you too. You might be more used to sort of playing a backdrop role or a supportive role. And it's like, yeah, but what if you're the face of your brand? Because you have to put yourself out there in a big, bold way. You know, you might be looking at something like this. Okay, what do I need to do? Ooh, but look, it's so good. Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. This could be somebody you're partnering with on this. This could be an Emperor and an Empress partnering on something together. Wow. I feel like it will really grow, okay? So there could be another Taurus like you. There could be a Libra. There could be an Aries connected to this investment. Whatever this is, it pays off, okay? This is worth the risk. This is worth the risk. And again, there's a lot of indication too about pregnancy here. There really is. I mean, the Empress energy coming out. There's a lot of child references here. So I feel like, you know, where there is concern about that, it looks like everything comes right. I mean, the Empress energy is just a very abundant, nurturing, fulfilled, healthy, beautiful energy. Okay, so this is good. Your money looks good. Once you kind of clear some stuff out that's keeping you in a position you really don't want to be in, doing work you really don't want to do, right? But you have to take certain steps to set something in motion. Nothing's going to be handed to you on a silver platter. It is going to require that you make some changes in your approach, and it looks like you might be partnering with somebody on something here. And you both may be considering this partnership, you know, because you're both kind of looking at that Ace of Pentacles. It will really pay off, though. So maybe that means putting some, you know, bad blood behind you from the past and, you know, moving forward with each other in a new way. It's something that really pays off here. So that looks good. That looks good. All right. Show me Taurus's health. Let's look at your health, because I think the money's looking pretty good. We already had the Nine of Pentacles come out earlier. And we have success cards on the board. So where you are facing challenges, it's just, there's something aesthetically that needs to shift. There's like a key element here. And maybe even somebody you need to pull into this or partner with that'll be like the missing ingredient. The missing ingredient could be a person. And with it coming in as that concealed cup, it could be something that comes in the summertime, could come in August. August is coming through as a big month for you, okay? It keeps showing up over and over and over again. A lot of Leo energy around this, all right? And I think the Leo energy is really just speaking to like exposure in the spotlight and also work that's like more fun. You know, more fun, something that you enjoy more and also maybe allows you to have more authority over your schedule. So you do have time to actually enjoy the fruits of your labor, not just like grind it out to make ends meet, but actually doing work that really fulfills you and having excess, you know, to actually go out and enjoy your life. Maybe take a trip. The World card can be related to travel. Same with the Eight of Wands that you had earlier. So there could be a travel angle too. Maybe you want to do some kind of work that involves travel. You know, maybe you want to go and you want to write reviews. You know, you want to write reviews of spas, or you want to write reviews of different resorts, and you know, you can make money like that. Maybe you're a writer, you know. Maybe you've only looked at using your writing in one capacity. You don't know other ways that you could actually be making money, and it could afford some travel for you. Or, you know, maybe you want to start a travel channel on YouTube, you know, and get out there and share your adventures. And you won't know how that could really get some traction for you until you like put yourself out there. And if you're thinking about something like that in terms of aesthetics, let me tell you, just get started. When I started this channel, boy, like I look back at some of my first videos and I'm like, oh Lord. And I know that, you know, years from now, I'll look back at this video and I'll think the same thing. Okay, it's a growth process. So the best thing is to just get started. Just do it. You don't have to be perfect. You're not going to learn it through like studying, okay? You're going to learn it through throwing yourself in there, throwing yourself into the mix. So if that's something you've been considering, just go for it, man. And just know, we all go through the awkward phase. We all deal with things like trolls. And, you know, just take it with a grain of salt, okay? It's just about getting yourself out there, and you're going to screw up, you know, and you're going to misfire, and there's going to be things that work and things that don't. And despite what people like to think, going viral is not as common as you think it is. And It is highly competitive, okay? So I could be talking to somebody here who wants to get into YouTube. Maybe YouTube is the missing ingredient. Maybe it could become really great advertising for the work that you do. A lot of people think too much about YouTube, just using it as an avenue for, building a channel and having it be all about the channel. Your YouTube can support your business. It's great. You can do workshops in relation to your business on YouTube, and you can show people what you're about and introduce them to your skill set. And a lot of people build businesses on YouTube. It's another form of advertising. It's another way of showing what you work with. Okay, so think outside the box. There really is somebody here who's considering YouTube, and they need to think outside the box in terms of what they can do with it. Okay, don't get too hung up in like the superficial stuff. Really don't, because I'm telling you, mark my words, I've been saying it for a while, but I'll say it again, and already it's proving correct. Okay, people just want real. They want you to show up as you are. They don't want contrived stuff. They don't want people who are going to be phony. They don't want things that are formulaic. They don't want stuff that's trending. There's a real aversion to that. That is going to continue to increase. And the more that we kind of head in this direction where everything's filtered and everything's polished up and everything is like everybody else, what's going to stand out is what's real, not what follows the crowd. All right. So yeah, don't count yourself out before you even put yourself in it. Okay. Because you're separating yourself from something that actually could really like level you up here. It could be the key to your success. It could be the thing that gets you out of that corporate job, okay? And puts the reins back in your hands as far as steering your course professionally, all right? Okay, let's get into health. Let's get into health. And if you are working for some kind of corporation or you're in some kind of contractual agreement, I do see you being able to get out of that contractual agreement, free yourself from that, so you can head in a direction that's more in alignment with where you want to go. Okay, what's coming in the area of health for Taurus in 2026? What's coming in health for Taurus in 2026? What's coming in the area of health for Taurus in 2026? Well, I like this. You're healing. You may have been dealing with some kind of health challenge. It may have been a little bit of a mystery to you for a while. You've been trying different approaches. You may have been working with some different holistic approaches. I also feel like something that's been really key in terms of healing any kind of physical issues that you're dealing with has a lot to do with emotional healing, has a lot to do with sort of integrating your past experiences. So you may be going through a really deeply cathartic emotional healing process right now. You might also be in the process of just like clearing out some old energy, like spiritual health is really important to you. You might have been doing a lot of spiritual cleansing, just getting old energy, old funk off of you, clearing the slate, and just doing your best to kind of move through a kind of challenging time. It looks like you might have been dealing with some health issues where you weren't quite sure the best way to approach or even what you were dealing with. You might have had some kind of unusual symptoms here, and I think you've been working with different means, different methods of trying to balance that out. I see like a lot of holistic healing. I also feel like there's something about connecting to nature that's so important for you. You might even be going on some kind of like retreat, some kind of healing retreat. It might be like getting together with some group where there's sort of like a therapeutic focus or a spiritual focus. It has that vibe, like going out into nature and almost doing like some kind of like vision questing work is kind of how it's coming through. Just to get back to the roots of things and and just clear out some old stuff. There's something coming through here too about camping. Like camping is really healing for you, just to unplug, get away from everything and allow yourself that space, that time to just be alone. Be alone in nature with the elements, you know, and have some time for integration and reflection. And I do feel like where you've been dealing with health challenges that may have been draining your vitality a little bit, I do feel like that's really going to shift for you. I still am getting the piece that some of you are getting into health industries, health, fitness industries, okay? So you might be working with different approaches. You're experimenting with yourself first, sort of seeing what works, putting it in play. This business idea you have may also be sort of something that springboards off of your own healing process. And that's what's inspiring you to head in this direction, okay? May have something to do with retreats. I got Costa Rica coming in relation to that. Maybe you're wanting to do like spiritual retreats or healing retreats, yoga retreats, something like this, okay? Or you might be going to a different locale to get some kind of training, all right? To enter into a field that has healing at its core, and it may be more sort of spiritually based. I got in relation to that. It was 11106 on the clock when I brought that in. If you've been considering that, if you should go for something like that, and this has been an inspiration you've had, yeah, you should go for it. Very much in alignment with your purpose, okay? I do feel like this is something that is aligned with your North Star too, okay? Do look for a good sign to come through where you've been dealing with a health challenge and you've been looking for answers. I do feel like the answers are coming. I do feel like there's reason to have hope in a particular treatment protocol, okay? Maybe something new that's being added to a particular health protocol that you've been working with a physician. I feel like this new element that's being brought in will be just what's needed here. It will be a successful result. You could even be part of like some kind of, it's coming through as like research or study in relation to a condition that you are dealing with. Yeah, look at that Fool energy. You're the first one to try this. One of the first, like, you know, you have an opportunity to like try a new medication or try some kind of new approach, something that's, it's in its testing stages, right? It's more experimental, but you might be working with an osteopath. You might be working with a doctor that you really trust here. And they're letting you know, like, there's a lot of really successful, you know, results we're seeing from this. And I think it could be a fit for you. Let's try it. I think if you try it, it will prove to be very successful, okay? And this may be something you might need to go to another locale in order to benefit from this treatment. So there might be some kind of travel involved in this, or there might be some kind of medical expert that's flown in. This might be some kind of treatment that's from another country too, that's being employed here. It could be something alternative. I mean, spiritual healing, it does make me sort of think of Aya and, you know, doing a little bit of kind of like spiritual alternative healing work to work through trauma and kind of deeper stuff, work through things like addiction, things like this. Okay, so that could be playing a role too. All right. Anything else in relation to health that wants to come in for Taurus? Got anything else there? I mean, something will move forward. All right. So if you felt like your vitality was flagging, within a couple months, there's some kind of progress here. It looks like, you know, 2-month mark, things really start moving. And again, something in relation to your health, there's like messages going back and forth. There's a new protocol to consider, maybe a new treatment, any of those things that I mentioned. I do feel like this will be successful. I think you'll see a big change within about 2 months, okay? You'll see a real shift in your health and you'll feel like, yeah, I got my old energy back. That's me. I feel more like myself. So if you've been questioning, should I go for something here? I think it will prove a very successful recourse, okay? And on the cut of the deck, what do we have? Look at this. Your energy looking real good, real strong, real stable, okay? Look at that. Vitality. Absolutely. So if you've been feeling like in the dark about a health condition, not knowing the appropriate approach, not knowing what to do, don't worry about it, okay? Looks like this is going to come through just fine. Lots of vitality, lots of improvement all around in your health, feeling really strong, getting your vigor back. There's also something about having more mobility too. So I don't know if you've been dealing with something where maybe it made it hard to move the way you usually move. I don't know if you're a dancer or if you're really into fitness. You know, you really like to work out. Maybe you've been dealing with some kind of challenge, or you play a sport and there's been some kind of health challenge you've been dealing with, maybe something going on with your joints or something that's made mobility an issue. I feel like whatever that is, it's really going to improve and like your endurance will increase too. So it feels like steady progress, real steady progress, but it looks good. Real strong energy. So whatever health problems you've been dealing with, those will be stabilized. And there's a lot of progress coming in, you know, within the next 2 months in relation to that. What else do I want to bring in here? Let's bring in the Ethereal Visions Tarot for you. We're going to look next at big successes and wins that you're going to experience in 2026. Look! Oh my gosh! The sun on the bottom of the deck. Man, you got to be dealing with somebody who's got Leo in their chart somewhere. Truth, Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords, okay. I mean, I think maybe it's been a little difficult, you know, to hold on to the truth in a situation, but you know what you want and you can't deny it. So you've accepted the rough parts of a particular journey towards success or something you want to achieve here. I do feel like there's some confirmation of this that will be coming in before the close of winter, okay? So that makes me think of maybe with that Leo full moon that comes in on February 1st, you might be receiving some kind of communication. There might be some truth that comes in there. It might be a little rough to have to grasp this truth, and yet you grasping this truth, accepting this truth, it is sort of like the beginning of what will prove successful for you. Right. There is some kind of happiness in making peace with an uncomfortable truth, okay? It's initially how it's opening up. You grasp this truth, you accept this truth, you take responsibility with it. It may be in airing something out, you know, admitting something, speaking to something. I feel like if you do that, it will lead to some kind of successful outcome here. Something that you feel is your happiness is really going to come through. It could be in relation to a child. I mean, that child is there. That theme's been very strong in your read. For those of you who've really wanted to have a child but have felt like maybe, you know, time's passed you by, or you've been working with methods like artificial insemination, you know, in vitro, this kind of stuff, or any kind of alternative approach. I think that, you know, it may have been difficult recognizing that there were fertility issues. That may have been a difficult truth to grasp, or if you're older, you know, that may have been something that was painful at one point because you felt like, well, maybe I just missed my window of opportunity to have a child. I feel like you might be surprised. You might be surprised, okay? You might get your wish for that baby, okay? You might have thought that was something that was going to pass you by. That's only for those that want to have a child. But I do feel like for those who've really been trying hard to have a baby, I feel like that's going to be something you're going to be celebrating here. I think there will be a successful fertilization, right? And, oh, I'm sorry. I am picking up that somebody may have lost a child. Lost a child. This time, it will be a successful pregnancy. It will be taken to full term, okay? So sorry about that. Yes. It'll work this time. You may be kind of like feeling for who that is speaking to. You may be feeling a little guarded about allowing yourself to celebrate some good news and hearing that it was effective, that you're pregnant again because of a past disappointment. Maybe you've dealt with those challenges before. I think what is really key for you in this situation is to create as relaxed of an atmosphere around you as possible. You know, you need to just really be mindful. Maybe that's what that protection coming in around the child was about. You might really need to make sure that you keep your stress low and maybe don't share it with people initially, because that might put too much pressure on the situation, right? I do feel like whatever approach you're taking here, maybe that's where the new alternative approach is coming through. It's going to be successful. It's going to be successful. Okay, so that's coming through for somebody. Congratulations. I'm hearing it's a girl. Okay, let's see what we got here. Hope I didn't spoil anything. Somebody was wanting a girl. I just heard daddy's little girl. Somebody was really wanting a girl. Maybe it's the father really wants a girl. Okay. Wanted a girl to dote on. All right. What is coming in here? I feel like she'll be daddy's little girl, you know, just the apple of his eye. He will dote on her and spoil her. Okay. I'm feeling like a really sweet energy around that. It's really beautiful. Okay, big successes and wins. So if you have had concern about a child too, okay, if you already have this child and you've been really worried about, it feels like a daughter, okay, don't worry about that. Something is going to successfully be achieved here. Maybe you felt like you didn't have enough time with your daughter, or maybe there were complications with visitation or something like that. I feel like this is going to be ironed out, right? And everything's going to be okay. If there were any kinds of issues that were causing concern over, it feels like a daughter. I do feel like there's a successful outcome here, okay? So just hang tight. I think the best thing that you can do in this situation is keep it quiet, you know. Try to create some privacy around this matter. Also, I suggest just holding back from involving other people, because I feel like adding other people's input is just going to create more stress in the mix and complicate things, okay? Big successes and wins for Taurus in 2026. You're a mother and you've had a falling out with a daughter. Big success and win is going to be getting to the other side of challenges you've had with your daughter. There's a win-win outcome here, okay? And with that, look at it. We got the Emperor again. Yeah, daddy's little girl, okay? All right, so Emperor is planning on winning big in 2026. Emperor is ready to take charge. Crossing energy, the world. Wow. And on the bottom of the deck here, we have 4 of Pentacles. So yeah, security is really important to somebody here. And I do feel like where you are dealing with troubles, it looks like it's related to something that's been very troublesome, something that's been a source of grief, stress, all those energies that got brought in initially. Like there's some situation you've been dealing with here, and it's been a lot to grapple with. And I feel like the biggest success and win that you're having this year that you can't see yet is this is going to come to a successful completion with the world. You have the world twice, okay? There is a successful outcome here where you are not able to see a way through currently. There is a way through. And again, it very much involves you personally. You could be dealing with another Taurus, strong Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio energy in the mix of it. There is a successful outcome here. You will get to the other side. You're also closing up a really difficult time where there's been a lot of arguments, a lot of conflict, a lot of stress, a lot of trouble, okay? And you're getting to the place where you finally can move forward to what you desire. And I feel like a big part of that is that you're going to have the stability and the financial security in place to make this possible, to really take this leap, okay? Yeah, other big successes, wins for Taurus in 2026. Other big successes and wins for Taurus in 2026. Also with that piece about travel that came in earlier, I think you're going to be able to do more traveling this year. That's something you wanted to do for a while. And if you were thinking of getting involved in any kind of business enterprise that involves traveling, being mobile, I see that being extremely successful for you. If you're about to go on a trip in relation to some kind of business offer, that's going to be a big win for you. I think there's something you're really going to be celebrating there. I think you've been kind of like holding your breath on this just a little bit because you really wanted this kind of opportunity for a long time. And I do see you're getting a prayer answered here. Look, and it pays off in spades, man. Something gives you a lot of happiness, gives you more visibility. This is right up your alley. It does put a spotlight on you. So I feel like in some way, shape, or form, you're getting more attention here. And I just see this really coming to its height with August. August is your month, man. It keeps coming out over and over and over again. And there could be a Leo that's connected to this. Or an Aries, right? An Aries rising? Or an Aries rising, okay? I wasn't going to say Aries rising. I was going to say an Aquarius rising, okay? Or they could be a Leo rising. All of those energies could be coming in, but that's interesting how Aries rising came in. That would be a Libra descendant. We did have a King of Swords show up, so that is possible. You could be dealing with an Aries rising. Interesting. This looks good. Okay, let me go ahead and do a cut of the deck. So I do feel like there's something here where you're just like, you really want this, all right? You really want this. You know that this has you written all over it. You're like, this is for me. That's what I feel. It's like your truth. You're like, I'm resting on this. This is all I want. This is my secret prayer. This is between me and the big man upstairs. I keep just staying focused on this one thing. And you have felt like this has sort of eluded you for a while. That's how you know what this is. You feel like, close but no cigar, you know? It's been just out of reach. And I feel like these delays are going to come to an end. And you're finally like, you're getting the opening you've been looking for. It's a big moment of success for you. Looks really good. Congratulations. Let's do a cut of the deck here. Let's see what we got around this. Whoo! Yeah, 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment. You're going to feel very gratified, okay? And this is something you've wanted just for you, so I love this. Looks so good. And you did the work, man. With the Knight of Pentacles, you've really been doing the work. And this took a while to get here. But once it gets here, it's like the world is your oyster. So this looks so good. Congratulations, man. The sun. Everything is about you stepping into the sun in 2026. More success, more visibility, more happiness, more vitality, more warmth, less cold. You know, everything is just sort of like blooming. That's what it feels like, okay? Blooming. Unexpected. I think I want to pull out a super awesome future deck for the unexpected for you. Bottom of the deck, okay? There's an interesting energy here. It's coming in with the 14 energy signature. So life path 5. Also temperance energy, Sagittarian energy. There could be like a little stealth energy that's hanging out here. Somebody who's got a strategy they're putting in play. They may see that you got a new beginning coming your way. Or you could be a Sagittarius. You could have a strong Sagittarius placement. You know that you're about to line up with some new beginning here. Something you feel like, you know, you might feel a little bit cocky about it. There ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? I feel like this is a proud moment for you. It's something that you worked hard for, something that's been long fought for here, okay? But you could have like a little tricky character, a little sly fox here who's kind of keeping an eye on you that you're not aware of, who might try to interfere with this. So just be aware of this little detail. It's what's at the basis of the matter. You might be surprised who's keeping an eye on you. It might be the last person you'd ever expect, okay? Might be the last person you ever expect. I don't know. It could even be, though, that it could be somebody who's, it could almost be like a headhunter energy, too. Maybe somebody who's been keeping an eye on your work or something they think you'd be a good fit for. You're going to be surprised when you discover who's been watching you, who's been keeping an eye on you. They haven't revealed themselves yet. I could see it coming in that way too, okay? This could be something bringing an unexpected opportunity your way. There will be something that gives you a little something to, like, you know, puff up your chest about, all right? Bottom of the deck. Interesting. The snake in reverse. Ooh, so somebody's cover's blown. That's what I see. Coming in with 17, so that Aquarian energy. This might be something that goes down at the time of the Ring of Fire. There could be like a clandestine connection, or there could be like somebody who's been like a snake in the grass in your circle getting called out here. Somebody's being exposed. And I think there's something that's surprising about who's been kind of like in your sphere, undetected. That's what it seems like here. There could be a Scorpio connection here too, with the snake reference. This could be somebody too that was trying to get in between you and another. Could be like a little bit of a hidden enemy. Could be an Aquarius. Could be a Leo rising. Could be an Aquarius rising. Okay. Interesting. But once this is exposed, I feel like it gets like an interfering element out of the way. And then all of a sudden you got your chariot forward here. It happens faster than you expect. You might not recognize what a sabotaging influence you've had around you that's been holding things up. Once this is exposed, all of a sudden it's like you're heading off in a brand new direction. Oh, you got a lot of new people coming onto your path too. Like you're meeting a lot of new people. There's travel too here. There's travel to distant locales. This could be something that comes in July that leads to the future success in August. I feel like whatever this is, it does take you out of your comfort zone for sure. There may even be a major move that's involved in this. major relocation, but this is like your launching point. It's your launching pad, okay? It's interesting the way it comes through, though, you know, the way it comes through. So I don't know, you know, this partnership, it could be a romantic partnership, but, you know, it doesn't have to be the case. It could be like somebody that was interfering in a business partnership too. Something that was cutting off opportunities for you. You know, where maybe something initially seemed really promising and then it started to head south and you're like, what's up? Like, I really thought this was the track we were going to go down. I really thought this was going to take off, us working together. Well, you had, you know, somebody was whispering in this person's ear, you know. There's a little subterfuge energy here. But I do feel like this is a blessing of Jupiter in Cancer coming through here in July. And things are finally taking off, and they're really taking off in a big way. Like, this is unlike anything you've ever experienced before. Also, when you find out about this interference, this could be, you know, somebody you're kind of surprised to find out that this person's been operating this way. I think there's some changes in your circle. I think there's some people that you're cutting off. I think you're ending cycle in certain friendships, connections, business associations that you're like, I never saw myself ever falling out with this person. It's like, no, that's done. And now you're being introduced to a new community. You might be building a new community. You're coming into alignment with a whole new group of people. The thing that's really good about the spaceship card is when these people come in, even though you're like really out of your element and everything is brand new, the people who are coming onto your path, these are people that are in it for the long haul. These are like star mates, you know? They're people you're going to build the future with, okay? So this is really good energy, but you are getting rerouted here in a very unexpected way. And you'll be surprised where this takes you. It's like out of this world. It's like totally, it's funny, out of this world. It's like, yeah, you close cycle on the world as you've known it, and where you're going now, it's like you're boldly going where you've never gone before, and it's a whole new cast of characters, but you wanted this. This is your wish fulfillment. That's what I see. That's what I see. It also may be a real tempting offer, okay? And so initially you might have a little doubt about it, but because you get this like snake in the grass energy, digested, 8 could be a clue. See, again, August is coming through. Once this is digested, you free yourself from the energy of the South Node. And this is what brings about the manifestation of this big come up for you. And this is a new direction that you feel totally in alignment with. There's complete affinity here. And this is something that endures. In fact, it's something that's sort of like coded in your earth mission here. You know, it's part of your purpose, and it's something that is ready to be rooted now in 2026. And it looks like it comes in August after an old karmic cycle is digested here. First, you got to call out this shady character here, and you got to get them out of your circle. I see that. And then this thing really takes off. Yeah, because this was like bad luck, man. Bad luck. This could even be like a witchy character, man, who's trying to create some subterfuge. Maybe trying to influence the way people saw you, trying to ruin your reputation. They've had a little poppet of you. You know, they've been trying to bring you bad luck. I think this person's going to have to own their actions here. You know, something is really backfiring here. But what's, you know, a negative cycle for them is the beginning of something beautiful for you. I see that. Look, the wish again, man. It's like somebody is ready to make your every wish their command. And there could be a particular gentleman that you're coming into contact with here. This is a sharp-dressed man. And they could come from a different locale. There could be travel connected to this. And it's what finally gives you a clear indication of where your success lies, right? It's like the sun starts peeking out of the ground. peeking out of the ground. The sun starts peeking out of the ground. What the heck? Well, if it's peeking out of the ground, maybe that's a clue, okay? I want to say it starts peeking out of the cloud cover, but I don't think it's an accident. It never is. So there might be something about a view where you're looking at the horizon and it looks like the sun is rising out of the ground. Like you might be at a particular location. That might give you a clue. So I don't know if you're like in a mountain range or you're out in the desert somewhere, or you're just in some location where maybe you're watching the sunrise with somebody and it looks like the sun is peeking out of the ground. That might be a clue for somebody here. Whatever this is, you set this wish in motion a long time ago. There's something you already seeded on the quantum field. It took a while for this to come in, but it is finally coming on through. It's coming in with the Empress energy signature. Okay, so your energy there, Taurus energy there. It also, I mean, it could be in relation to like giving birth to this child, okay? In all the ways we brought through. It could be your brainchild, this desire, this dream you've had for a long time, or something in relation to a child here. Whatever this is, geographical reconfiguration could be on offer. There could be something involving a really important trip or a significant move out of your usual area, okay? There's a lot of gifts that come attached to this, and it is a brand new beginning, comes in with the full energy signature, okay? Any more details about this? What's unexpected here? Any more details? Okay, some things came in reverse. This is beautiful. So you're closing out a really rough time. You're transmuting the thorns and you're getting back to the heart of the matter. And there's something here where the fire burns in the heart again for two. Getting beyond sorrows. Getting beyond sorrows and getting to this place of, you know, mutual affinity. This is a connection too. It feels like there's something here that the heart has burned for this for lifetimes. And it's finally coming on through because something has been overcome here. Yeah, I think what's being overcome is there's no longer like a third party involvement here in a scenario that's being called out, okay? Could be somebody's freeing themselves from a connection. This might come as a big shock, okay? There could be a Cancer involved in this situation. Something's being released though, so somebody can come into alignment with a connection that's been forged in spirit. That's what I feel. So I also feel like there's a surprise twist and a love story that's coming in here. All right. Ooh. And it's interesting because it almost appears like first it looks like everything's heading south. Like I'm not getting what I desire here. And then something comes through and it turns out maybe very unexpected, but quite perfectly, you know? So give the multiverse a little opportunity to work its magic because you could be limiting a dream. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the archangels here for your good fortune in 2026. Yeah, wow. 10 of Ariel on the bottom of the deck. That's that 10 of Pentacles energy. So you're going to be building something with another here. There may be a trip you're going on with a certain somebody. It could even be a honeymoon. I have to tell you, you might be going to Paris. Yeah, you're going to have a lot to be grateful for. There's a lot of financial success in your future. I think, you know, if you've been worrying about what about when I get to the later stages of my life, whatever success you're striking here, it's going to give you retirement fund, okay? And looks like family life's going to be really good. So if you've been dealing with these like family conflicts or falling out, This is really getting things back to a good place. It's going to feel really good. There's harmony in the family. Some of you are starting a family. Some of you are tying the knot, you know. This is really coming through very strongly. Might be leaving one situation, or somebody that you're connected to is leaving somebody to prepare to connect with you in a big, bold way, or they're finally ready to commit after they did some work on themselves. And it was 1:44 on the clock. Wow. You're surprised when there's a renewal in a connection. It's coming through with Magician energy, Gemini energy. It shocks you. You thought for sure there was no way this relationship could be revived. It's totally resuscitated. It's shocking. It's shocking. It's like a second wind in a relationship, just when you thought, you know, all was lost. Wow. It is shocking. So do look for a surprise twist that you'll consider very good fortune in your love life and the resolution of a particular conflict you've been navigating here, okay? Good fortune for Taurus in 2026. Bottom of the deck, the Emperor, man, okay? So there's somebody here large and in charge, and they mean business, okay? This is the year that you really do find that strong foundation laid in place that you've been really trying to get addressed, because I feel like you've been dealing with some kind of shakeups, instability. But this is the year where a certain action is taken. Maybe there's an emperor who's taking an action here that's stabilizing a situation quite efficiently. And I do feel like this is the time where finally, you know, maybe you've been waiting for somebody to take charge, or maybe you're the one who's taking charge. Somebody's taking charge in this situation, though, and this is what is making very ambitious plans possible. Really good energy. Aries energy coming through there with the Emperor. Okay, what is the good fortune coming Taurus's way in 2026? What is the good fortune coming Taurus's way in 2026? Good fortune coming Taurus's way in 2026. Something wanted to flip over and then it didn't. Good fortune coming Taurus's way. Okay, that's a lot that came out there. All right, it's in the crossing position right now. So there is something that needs to be addressed first, though. I really see this in order to open the road for this good fortune to come in. There does need to be a moving away from one situation in order to make a certain connection possible with the Eight of Raphael. And that's the energy of the Eight of Cups coming in. And I think this is really difficult to have to walk away. It's coming through as like walking away from one dream and sort of stepping into the unknown and not knowing what you'll find there. But what you're going to find is that there's something better waiting for you. And you just really at this point have to open up to what is a spiritual quest for you. You're entering into the quest for the star, which does require that you move through the valley of the shadow for a while. It means you have to really align and get calibrated with what's true for you, what's right for you, and follow that, you know, even though it does carry some risk with it, okay? It is a spiritual quest. There's a lot that you're going to learn from the journey, but you'll find at the end of that journey or along the way, something better greets you. And what greets you? It's a soulmate here. Look at this, Six of Raphael. So this is coming into alignment with someone that you feel like is a real catch, okay? This person wakes up a very young part of you, so there could be a connection that's a little nostalgic. You could go way back with this person. There's going to be a rekindled relationship here. I also feel like you're making new friends. So again, you could be rekindling a relationship, but there could be a relocation that's involved in this situation, moving into a new area, or there's just something really brand new about this connection. And the circle of people it introduces you to, because you are making new friends here as well. There's a big childhood connection here, though. So this could be somebody that you've known for a while. You never saw yourself coming together with this person again, but you are. And we got the Empress here, okay? It's your energy. It's Libra energy, too. So once this comes through, I feel like somebody's going to walk away from a situation, and that's going to facilitate the opening of this storyline, coming into alignment with the soulmate here. Once this happens, there's this meeting. Maybe you're meeting up with somebody in an unexpected way. You cross paths unexpectedly. Once you connect with this person, you'll know it's time to put a certain plan in motion here. I also feel like you might be partnering with somebody on something. It might be a creative project. And where you invest in this, boy, there's a lot of abundance coming in. So this could be something that starts out as a partnership. Maybe with somebody you've had a falling out with, you know, somebody you haven't been in touch with for a while, and you reconnect, and, you know, it starts out like this, and it revives the connection. Look at this. There's a lot of inspiration that comes with this connection here, for sure, with the Ace of Gabriel. There's a big, strong action taken here. It's fire energy, like something that you're moving toward with a lot of passion, a sense of purpose. It's an opportunity that you're really inspired to take here. And it's a chance to do something that when you pull this off, it's gonna surprise even you. But I think people are gonna kind of be like, oh my God, I never saw this happening, not from a million miles away. But before you can get to this, there is a situation with the Five of Michael here that is no good. And I feel that it's like your good fortune is sandwiched between that like Eight of Cups and Five of Swords energy. And that's why it's in the cross position right now. So this is showing you what's possible, but it's also letting you know your fortune's what you make of it. You got a certain hand of fate you've been dealt. It requires you to work with that, to transform that energy, to enact your destiny here. You're currently dealing with a situation that does not serve you, and you have to release your attachment to it. There's something that you're holding on to way too tightly, and you cannot influence this outcome in that way. You have to release your attachment to the outcome. If you set a wish in motion, if you're trying to call something in, the more you hold on to it, the more you hold it back. So it could be you need to let go of your attachment to the outcome so this can finally come into view, because you might be clogging the channels of creativity with too much stress and too much pressure, right? You need to change your approach, all right? In order to secure this good fortune, you need to have a more light-hearted approach. You've been too pressurized about something, or trying to control something too much, or holding on to something too tightly, or strategizing too much. Lighten up a little bit, okay? And let go of outcomes, and just don't try to have it all figured out. Like, just go along for the ride. There's something beautiful about the journey itself that you're missing here with trying to have everything figured out and under control. I feel like that smothering potential here. That's how it's coming through. A lot of good fortune there that wants to come through, but it can't if you're continuing to like go at something the way you have been. There's definitely something that needs to be cut off here, because it's betraying your own dreams, your own wishes, right? So don't get in your own way here, ma'am. All right, cut of the deck, good fortune. Look at that. King of Gabriel, there's absolutely like some fire sign energy that's playing a key role here. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, this is somebody generous, they're inspirational, they're dramatic, yes, but they're also very driven, okay? Once they make their mind up about something, their mind is made up, they will follow through. This could be in relation to this person, you know? You have to keep your eyes on the bigger picture. Stop getting kind of mired in the little details. You could be a fire sign, okay? And you have a strong Taurus placement. You might be a little too dramatic in a situation. Tone it down a little bit, You know, that might be a little bit of a clue coming through here. Come more from your generosity. Come more from what inspires you. And be driven. You know, there's going to be effort that's required here. And also where you are a feminine, okay? You might be adopting a little bit too much of a masculine role, like pushing something a little too hard. And you might be stealing a little bit of this King of Fire's thunder. You know what I'm saying? That might be why things are getting dramatic in this situation. You know, let them take charge. Show them that you have trust in them, okay? Leave the details to them. They got it. You know, they got it. You don't need to have control over every detail. I feel like that's really coming through for the feminine here, okay? And if you give yourself over to that experience, you let somebody else handle the details, you know, give them that trust. You'll be surprised what happens here, because it's the experience itself that leads to success. There's something about the journey here. And this person, they have genuine concern for everybody involved in the situation. So they're very detail oriented about the way they go about something. You know, you may think you know the best way for something to go down. You don't. Let this person, you know, have the reins here. And there's something about that trust fall that's important in this situation. It's an epiphany for you. And this could be connected to a Virgo. All right. Let them take the leash. This Virgo could have a strong fire placement. They have a lot of fire. This person, you know, they may keep some things under wraps. They may keep some things to themselves, but this person's wise, okay? They know what's needed to transform this situation. And this person's doing some real deep spiritual work right now. And I feel like this whole experience is going to be a deeply transformational spiritual process for you too. And there's a lot of joy that comes through this, okay? So instead of putting pressure on somebody, be a light to others, you know? Share more light with other people. And you'll find that the more you let go, the answers will come through. They'll come through when you're not trying to do anything, you know? When you're just staring off in space, or when you're finally relaxing and you're not trying to figure everything out and you're just in quiet reflection or meditation, all the answers come through and you'll know what's needed to transform a situation, okay? So a lot of good fortune on offer, but I do see there's ways that you're blocking it right now, and that does need to shift. All right, let me get you some spiritual guidance from the Herbal Astrology Oracle here. Wait. Let me see what your power move is first. I'm going to pull out this Tarot of the Owls. To let something come to pass. We got death here, okay? So you are going through an initiatory process. And there might be a couple people here that are being left behind. It's possible, okay? Scorpio energy coming through very strongly there. You got to let something end before something can begin. All right? That is your power move. Give yourself over to the transformation. You know, if you give yourself over to the transformation, you'll like how things turn out, all right? But I see that while you continue to hold on to something, an old way of doing things, it looks like it's in relation to relationships, partnerships. Could involve a significant other. Like something really needs to shift here. That's your power move, to let things come to a close so you can experience the renewal. When I was preparing your deck, Taurus, one of your decks, the Glow in the Dark Tarot, the Tower was coming up in reverse. And I feel like that's sort of the thing that's holding you up. It's like you know that something needs to fall. Something's false, it needs to fall. It needs to come crashing down, but you're trying to hold on to it. And in holding on to it, you're delaying your own success. You're delaying your own good fortune, your wishes coming to fruition. You may not have known when you set a certain wish in motion that it will require this death, this ending, this tower. But that's part of the deal, you know. We don't get to choose the way that the arrow that we fire off toward the target, toward our goal, hits its mark. You know, you have to let go. And it does look like part of the deal here is that you do have to release something to get this wish fulfillment you're looking for, right? So let's see what your power move is. I almost skipped that portion, but I think this is a good time to bring in your power move before we get to your spiritual guidance to close it out. Ooh, the Empress in reverse. Interesting. I mean, it's coming through as your energy, a certain perspective that needs to shift for you. I'm almost seeing like the Empress and like the Hangman position here. It's something that's needing to be looked at in a new way in relation to the Venusian energy, in matters of heart, in matters of love. And when the Empress is in reverse, she can be really controlling. So something's like, you need to relinquish control in a situation. You need to let go. That's your power move. You have something you need to let go. And it'll be the thing that brings you back into the Venusian energy. It brings the love and the beauty back into your life. It gives you some kind of wish fulfillment. But you gotta let go. It looks like you gotta give the reins over to somebody else, and that might be really hard for you to do, but it's what you need to do in order to get what you desire here. Whoever this person is, I mean, I feel like they have your best interests at heart. And they see something that you can't see. Like they are more detail oriented about this. You're kind of like looking at the big, too much like fussiness around how something needs to be executed. And it's like, look more at the bigger picture, you know, than getting mired in the minutia. Let this person handle the details, okay? That's your power move. You know, people often underestimate that, how much power, how much inner strength it takes to do that trust fall, to let go and give yourself over, to allow something to come to an end because you're trusting the call that you're rising to here, okay? Power move for Taurus. Power move for Taurus. This could involve a Sagittarius because I felt called to the tarot of the owls with this, and that's Sagittarius on the medicine wheel. King of Cups in reverse. This is some kind of emotional manipulation, trying to control something too much, hold on to something too much. And with that, we got upright, Ace of Swords. Okay, so your power move is to let go. Let go. So what you want can come into view because you're blocking the channels here. And I feel like there's a truth that's going to land here that will make it very evident to you. And you're not going to have to wait a long time for this. It's coming in the winter. So this will be heading your way before the end of March. Okay? You'll know what this is. You'll have the answers you need. And at that point, you have to let go. You let go, and that's what sets you up for success. That's your power move. It looks like you have to trust somebody. You have to trust the freaking Emperor. Oh my God. Wow, look, the sun is rising out of the earth. You have to trust this Emperor. That's what I see. You have to trust the Emperor, Queen of Wands. Wow. You might be very headstrong, you know. You're used to being extremely independent. You gotta have some fire somewhere. You're gonna have some fire somewhere in your chart. Maybe Leo energy, you know. I mean, look, and there's the desert scenery too. Look, the cactus. Interesting. You gotta trust this emperor, man. Give over to this emperor. He knows how to follow through with this, whatever this is, you know. Whatever this is. That, I mean, that's the truth. So if you want to get to that stone of destiny and pull that sword from the stone, what does it take? It takes a gentle touch. Somebody who uses too much force cannot do it. It requires an inner sovereignty. The Empress doesn't have to force anything. The Empress attracts, magnetizes. Doesn't have to use force, okay? So there's something here about, that's your power move. Your power move is to let go and trust the Emperor. That's what will turn things around. There's too much trying to manipulate things in a certain way or trying to work somebody emotionally in this situation. I mean, if you're the Emperor in this situation, you're dealing with somebody who's trying to work you like this and you're like, no. No. And your power move is to bring that to an end. Like, we're not dealing with that anymore, okay? Wow. That was pretty potent. Okay. Let's get spiritual guidance for you. I'm gonna pull it out because with the Empress coming in reverse, I'm gonna pull out the Goddess guidance cards here, okay? Bottom of the deck. You do have the ability to heal this. You are a channel for divine healing power. And I do feel like you're coming into your strength at this time. There's a lot of power you hold in your hands. There's a lot of power you connect to when you're in natural settings. There's a lot of shocking developments that are coming onto your path. This is a healing journey for you too, I feel, 2026. You have the ability to transform situations, but even as you're coming into your healing gifts, remember, it is the power working through you. So don't try to control that either, you know. When healing gifts are awakening in you, it's all about letting go to it and getting out of your own way so that energy can channel through you too, okay? So something about coming into this power and everything that wants to root in your life does require you to let go. And if you are coming into some really potent gifts, that's an initiatory process and it can feel like a death, okay? So there's something powerful that's happening here. You're highly sensitive at this time, so you do need to create space, sacred space for yourself, especially when you have an opportunity to like connect with a power spot. Could be a place in nature. You might want to create a spiritual focal point too in your home, like an altar or maybe a vision board. But I feel like more than anything, you need space where you can just be in your own essence and kind of block some time out just to meditate, turn within and just receive, you know, instead of trying to direct things so much, just allow yourself to receive, because I do feel like there's something really powerful that wants to awaken in you. But in order to really come into this, you have to let go more. There's a need to let go. Okay. Okay. There could even be like somebody that's maybe they hold a lot of spiritual authority in their own right, you know, and somebody who's working with you here. You could even be working with somebody who is acting as a guide or a teacher here, you know. It might be a little hard to give yourself over to somebody else's guidance, especially when you already feel like, well, I hold all this healing power and, you know, I'm a very spiritually evolved person, but we can always use teachers on our paths, you know. And sometimes those teachers come in unsuspecting ways. They can come in the form of a love relationship, you know. And it doesn't come in a package we expect, you know, but there is something here about open yourself up to the experience. I do feel like this is an initiatory process. Right? So do expect that you're going to start to have a lot of new energy coming into your body. You're going to be feeling more sensitive. You need to create space to receive what's coming in and to give yourself over to the experience. And maybe even trust somebody who's kind of guiding you through this process or teaching you something. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Yeah. You got to take a leap of faith here as you move into this energy with Anya. Take a risk and put your heart's true desires into action. Okay. You got to be all in. But I feel like being all in with this does require you to put your trust in somebody. It's a trust fall. Okay. And the trust may even be in spirit itself. Okay, just trust that there's going to be a soft landing here. If you take the risk, you'll like where you end up. I really feel that, but it's all about following a deeper calling. It's all about following your heart. Okay, and with that, crossing energy, and it was crossing the Emperor here. Peace, okay? And there's a child here too. So children has been a theme in your read here. And this is about letting go, okay? No need to worry. Everything's working out beautifully. And especially if there's any concern around a pregnancy, around children, around family issues, anything like this, just trust. Everything's being taken care of. And if you feel a little shaky, you know, taking this risk, trust, you're being held by spirit. There's a lot of playfulness coming in. Just take it one breath at a time. And if you are finding out that you're pregnant and you're like, you're nervous about this, you're nervous about it. And maybe even for the reasons that got brought in earlier, you haven't been able to bring a pregnancy to term before in the past because you suffered, you know, some devastating loss. And truly, I'm so sorry if you had that experience, but there's something that's coming through here that's really talking about everything is already being taken care of here. And the last piece that remains in order to bring this in for you is to get out of your own way. Let spirit do its thing. And let this person who has your best interests at heart do what they need to do to bring this on through for you. You're in good hands here. You're in good hands here. Okay? I don't know why I got this, but there could be somebody that even has like a father, maybe a father that is passed on. They got you. They got you. You'll always be daddy's little girl. Okay? They got you. It's something about a father that's passed on. Like something is being divinely orchestrated here. I feel that really strongly. Okay, so that's your guidance. Just be at peace. Let go. Trust that more time is needed. It looks like for a certain truth to come through that's going to move you into action before winter season is out. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. Let's get you some numbers here. The dice. Dynamic read. Dynamic year before you, Taurus. It's coming in here for Taurus in 2026. I mean, something's held up right now. Okay, we do have the paddy wagon here. Something's held up until, you know, they're seeing something clearly. And it has everything to do with the proper foundation needs to be put in place before something can move forward here. We got life path 1, life path 3, life path 2, life path 4. Really strong life path 4 coming through here. It's coming through on the top of the dice and the side view here. All right, so and then with that we also have life path 6. Okay, life path 6. Oh, that's interesting the way life path 6 is coming in too. Check it out. So do you see? There's like one experience is ready to be drawn down And the other experience is something that's already been rooted but might need to come down in order to come together. You know what I mean? It's like one cycle needs to close so another alignment can come in, and that's not possible until something's addressed here. And it looks like January is a key month in relation to this, and also March coming in strongly too. So there could be some kind of holdup in relation to, with the one energy there, it makes me think the Magician. So this could be holdups around communication. It could also be holdups in relation to a Gemini. It also makes me think of the first house of Aries, okay? There could be a delay in relation to an Aries. Month of January, there could be some delay with a Capricorn, an Aquarius, a Leo rising. March coming in here. Pisces could be connected to some kind of delay, or a March born Aries. We got April coming in here too. So that could be Aries, Taurus energy. It's your energy too, okay? There's some kind of delay here. With the 6 energy, I do feel like there's so many 2s here. I feel like 222 is a number of synchronicity for you that's speaking of this alignment. It's like an unraveling for something else to come together. It's also High Priestess energy. So there's a lot that's working beneath the surface. There's a lot that's hidden right now. So you have to wait for certain truths to be revealed before you have the answers you need to make certain judgment calls as well. 6 energy, that's Venusian energy, so could be connected to another Taurus. Your energy coming through very strongly, obviously. You're very affected by this. There could be Libra energy here too. June energy as well, so Gemini energy coming in very strongly again. Also Cancerian energy. And all of these numbers together, they finally move things forward. It comes to 10. Sagittarian energy, Wheel of Fortune. The wheel turns. Okay, some cycle is initiated, maybe in Aries season, okay, that gets something going here. Or there's an emperor that takes an action that finally gets the Wheel of Fortune spinning here in the right direction. Somebody takes charge of a situation and it's the turning point, okay? But there is eventually a moving forward. But right now, something is caught up. Something's held up, okay? Let's go ahead and get some numbers of significance. There could be holdups in relation to work and career too, daily habits. So look at what needs to be addressed there. There could be a Virgo connected in this situation as well. All right. Something's hanging out in the bag. Okay, maybe this is what needs to get discovered here. Letter S. Okay. Yeah, something's concealed here in relation to S. Something needs to be learned about S. So somebody could have a name that starts with S. And with that, I have mine. Okay. Mine. Okay, that seems like a personal message coming through there. Mine. Somebody feels S is mine, okay? There could be discrepancy there. There could be something that will become clear in relation to S in time, okay? There's time involved in a situation. It is coming out with her, so I feel like this is a feminine connected to this situation. And then on the side of that, I see the name Anne, okay? All right. I do feel like this is going to be your year where you really shine. Okay, you get to have your time in the sun for sure. I do feel like it's going to be a real hot summer, and I don't mean just because of the heat. I think there's really something. Ooh, there's really something that gets cooking there. Don't talk about it. Maybe it's something that's already kind of like in the works or is being planned, but it's a little bit undercover right now. And with that, I got the Roman numeral for 9 and also the Roman numeral for 11. So there could be a Virgo connection. There could be a Libra connection. Also, there's something that comes into balance at that time. Something in the South Node gets balanced out at that time. Right. I got ER here too. All right. So there could be some kind of emergency that comes in that needs to be addressed, some kind of medical emergency. Somebody might need to make a trip to the hospital. I also have EMT, so there could be somebody who works in this field that's significant in your situation. Somebody's an emergency medical technician. I got the name Finn coming in relation to that. I also got like finito, like the end of something too. It feels like whatever that is, it's a relief, whatever's coming to an end, because it's like, phew. All right, never thought we'd get through that, okay? But you do, okay? Something is able to be addressed here. I don't know why I got all these Roman numerals coming in. There could be a tarot connection, because usually, you know, there's Roman numerals on tarot cards. So I got chariot energy coming in here, and with that, I got the name Ray, okay? And with that, I have gin, as in the drink, gin. Okay, so there could be a clue, a drinking buddy. Maybe somebody's bringing an end to their drinking. You know, maybe they're cutting off their drinking buddies here. They're cutting off Ray. Ray, you've been cut off. We're sending you home. Give me your keys, okay? There could be, maybe somebody has to go to the ER from alcohol poisoning, you know, drinking too much, and it's something that finally turns everything around. They're like, okay, I need to get this under control. It's weird. I got JS coming in around that. That's come out before. It's somebody who says just saying. They say just saying all the time. This person also uses a lot of abbreviations in their text, you know, everything's shorthand. Okay. See anything else wants to come in here. I don't know what this is, but I got love from Gigi. Okay, that feels like somebody who's passed on. Gigi sends her love. This could be like a grandma passed on. I've been thinking about them a lot. Maybe there was some kind of medical emergency. My condolences. If you have been integrating the loss of a loved one, I do feel like they're sending their love. They're letting you know, this is coming through strongly for someone, Gigi. You call them Gigi. They're letting you know that their help is always just a moment away. And I got the name Anya in relation to that. Anya, Gigi's help is always just a prayer away. Huh. Okay. They keep an eye on you. They always keep an eye on you. You may really feel their presence at night when you go to bed. It's like you feel like you're being watched over. You may have felt a presence if you were wondering. It's Gigi. Gigi's on it. That's what I see. Gigi's on it. She knows that you've been dealing with some stuff. And she's there just giving you comfort, love, comfort, peace, okay? Anything else? I feel that's it, okay? It looks like a powerful year of transformation, Taurus, so just let go. Give yourself over to the drop. Put your hands in the air. I think it's going to be a thrilling ride. Godspeed.